working hard. What is a holy place? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Equipped with the books, so for those who are here at the lecture, it's a happy sight, right? And for those who are not here waiting for prasadam, you can send them a message. So holy place. What makes a holy place a holy place? The answer to this is not so obvious as might seem. For example, in our modern means the last 1,000 years Western culture, a holy place is a place where some material miracles might happen. Isn't it? You go there and you get healed. Your diseases are healed. That's probably one of the most famous proofs. It's a legitimate proof for some churches to accept somebody as a saint. However, there is a difference in understanding spirituality, religion, and holiness in Orient, especially in India, and you can say in the modern culture. I think I mentioned that there's one Swami from the Balkans who got sannyas a few months ago, 1 or 2 years ago, and so he, I think that immediately after that he was passing through New Delhi, and so he gave a class in New Delhi, and they made a poster, and the poster said, "Please come." How does it go? A lecture by an American saint. A lecture by an American saint. Right? So for in India, that sounds interesting. Right? A lecture by an American saint. But there were some Americans who saw this announcement on Facebook, and so immediately they said, "Oh, he's already a saint. He's a young. I don't know how old is he? Maybe 40 something, around 40. 46. So, oh, he's a saint, because I think in the Catholic Church, to be recognized as a saint, the minimal requirement is to be dead. Before you are even considered for analysis. And here is somebody who is not at all dead, and he's already called a saint. So this reflects, but in India it doesn't ruffle any feathers, doesn't create any surprise. Because you can see Prabhupada uses a lot this expression, saintly person. So saintly person is not somebody who has been canonized by Sri Vatican Dham and Sri Pope, or Sri Shrimad Pope, but who seems to be a very nice saint, actually, according to Indian tradition, Indian standards. In India, a sadhu or a saintly person is basically somebody who follows some program for spiritual advancement, spiritual development. So a saintly person is somebody who has some principles in life, some principles for development, some principles for elevation, and some spiritual goals. So that's some principles for being a good person. Sadhu actually means a good person. So in that sense, you're all saints here. So if I take a picture of all of you right now, and then put it on Facebook and say that here are Ljubljana saints. Or I will say how many 100 saints in Ljubljana. It will create absolutely no surprise in India. They will say, "Oh, so nice, thank you. Thank you for sharing." No astonishment, no surprise, no inner resistance will be created at all. And they will see, oh, there's a Tilak. Definitely he is a saint. What doubt can there be? Well, they are in sari, and they are trying. They have tulsi beads, and they have japa beads. Obviously saints. There's no doubt. What's the doubt? So the same goes for a holy place. In the 7th canto, there are beautiful verses describing what my Sankirtan leader called a mistake. He said this is a mistake because this is chapter 14 and it's called, I'm sorry, I'm just quoting my Sankirtan leader. He's been punished sufficiently already, I think. So this chapter is called Ideal Family Life. He said, it's either one or the other. He got his, response from Krišna on this comment. But yes, here, Narada Muni, a lifelong celibate monk, brahmachari, describes ideal family life. And doesn't seem like any of family people ever objected towards any descriptions in this chapter. So in a series of verses here, 30 to 33, he describes special conditions for holy rituals, because everybody in this material world will necessarily be implicated in karma, in the bondage of karma. And especially in Kali Yuga, everybody will be implicated in sin. Recently I heard a class by Adi Krishna. Okay, they were cooling it. Yeah, yeah, it's nice, thank you. It's like a portable cooler, when it's done nicely. Garuda Prabhu recently, I heard, he said that in Kali Yuga, it's almost impossible to avoid being implicated in sin. Just Krishna Das may just keep some money in a bank, and then somebody comes and says, "Oh, I want to open a slaughterhouse," and they will say, "Oh, so nice. Yes, we will borrow. You can borrow from us Krishna Das's money here, and open the slaughterhouse. And then you will pay us a little more." So then it's you were planning to use all of this money for serving Krishna, and then without your knowledge, it will happen. It's not only bank, it's cash or anything. Just walking, just breathing, we kill some microbes. So it's unavoidable. So therefore, always there were some special sacrifices. And it was considered that everybody is supposed to perform some sacrifices for purification, perform charity, and other good things to counteract the negative influence of life in this material world. Of course, in this age, the most recommended sacrifice is, as we all like to know, is singing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It's a sacrifice. Don't be surprised. Yes, it's a sacrifice. You are sacrificing some breath, some voice, attention. As they say, pay attention. I don't know, so we are paying attention. We are paying with attention. It's actually the modern currency, attention. Your attention is being sold. When you read an article, and then the advertisers are selling your attention to the companies who are advertising. So when we offer our attention to Krishna, that's a very wonderful sacrifice. So in this chapter, therefore, describing the ideal family life, Narada Muni says that if you perform sacrifice, some rituals, under certain conditions, you get 1,000 times better result. It's it's a very nice promotion. How do you call it? Aktia? Aktia, yes. You don't find this in the. There's no supermarket that offers you 1,000 times return, right? Okay, maybe double sometimes. Buy one get two. Okay, buy one get three maybe, but nobody has ever heard buy one get 1,000. It's really nice. So, what are the conditions? So there are special times when you get 1,000 times better return on your investment in pious activities, and places. So these are holy places. And some of them are listed here. So Kurukshetra is listed, Naimisharanya, where Bhagavatam was spoken, Badrikashram. Who has been to Badrinath in the Himalayas? Here? Badrinath? Nobody. Incredible. Such a nice place, Badrinath. It's one of the four dhams in India, very special atmosphere. Just going there, you can feel it's a different dimension. It also prepares you. As you just pass Joshimath, and you enter it's called Valley of Gods. Nearby you have Valley of Flowers, a sacred place for Sikhs, I think. Then you enter the Valley of Gods, and there is Ganga, Alakananda Ganga going on the bottom, and on both sides you have very high green mountains who are standing like sentinels, guards. They are just standing, and you are very small in this tiny bus going between these mountains up along the Ganga, and they are watching where are you going, and then far at the end, it's like a castle of Badrinath, and then you reach there, and then you start zigzagging up, and then down. The height is 3.5 kilometers, where it is. It's closed for winter because of snow and everything. So if it's 50 degrees above zero at the bottom, you enter you go to the plateau, and when we came there, it was snowing. So in the night it gets to zero. In the night it gets to zero or around zero, snow, it's snowing. So, and that's not the point. The point is that as you enter there, it's like whoo, you enter a different dimension. You can see it's not just a holy place; it's a dham. Dham means part of the spiritual world. It's part of the spiritual world. So. Quite a special place where this is the place where Shankaracharya found an ancient deity of Narayan, and this deity is worshipped there. Many nice places there. There is also a kunda with hot. There is a pond with hot water near the temple. So I remember we went on the way to the temple with our Krainsky Madan Gopal. Send hello to him if anybody knows him. He's sometimes passing the way.
We just met him.
I know, he came, yeah. He was here a couple of days ago. And so we took a bath in that hot Brahmakunda, and the other one I forgot what's the name. And I think Gauri Kunda. And then in the evening we came back and read the guide to the holy place, and this guide said that this is a special pond. If you take bath there, you are purified from sin. And if you are a pious person, if you are a sinful person, it is very hot. But if you are a pious person, it feels okay. And we, like, how did you feel? Yeah, I felt okay. Oh, yeah, I also felt okay. I thought, just as I thought, confirmed. And then the next day we came, very certain that yes, and we couldn't touch it. We couldn't, even if we tried to take bath, maximum we could do was taking a lota and trying to put, this. It was so hot, even with a lota to touch it was very difficult. Turns out, we asked what happened. Yesterday it was okay. Today it's so hot. They say, well, at 4 o'clock we mix it. Because otherwise nobody can take bath there. So at 4 o'clock we let some cold water in it. So, okay. So Badrikashram is mentioned here. Mathura is mentioned here. Mathura includes the whole Mathura Mandala and Vrindavan, naturally. Pampa, this is, sounds cool, Pampa. This is South India. Do we have anybody from India here? South India, I think Vindhya Mountains, that's there, that side. It's a nice place, a little cooler in summer. Ayodhya, everywhere you have Ganga. So Dwaraka, Setubanda, that's Rameshwara. So some of the very famous places. And then Prabhupada says, similarly, places outside India where there are centers of the Krishna consciousness movement and where Radha Krishna deities are worshipped, and word for word, he translates, such as New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, and European cities like London and Paris, or wherever there are centers of Krishna consciousness. So, congratulations. We chanted, even just before this class, we chanted 4 Mahamantras. So that counts as 4,000 Mahamantras. Minimum, at least. Because there is more quotients. Coefficiente? There are more quotients, like anything done within 6 kilometers of the deities, or of the Shalagram Shila, Govardhan Shila, is also bringing 1,000 times higher result. Or if somebody dies within, I think, what was the number, within some measure of kilometers, I think 8 kilometers or some number of kilometers where the deity of Krishna is worshipped, or especially Govardhan Shila or Shalagram Shila is worshipped, then one who dies within that area gets liberation. He gets liberated. So, and if you do this at a certain time, like transit of the sun to a different sign, or full moon, or new moon, and so forth, then it also is multiplied 1,000 times. Or Bhishma Dev in Mahabharata says, if you give charity on the full moon or new moon, which coincides with Monday, the result of it is unending. It means that, because it's like a good fixed deposit in the bank. You do some, Prabhupada says that if you give anybody, you give charity, in second canto 2.3.17 we have this explanation, anybody you give charity, it's a guaranteed equal return in the next life. But what means equal? Equal means equal plus percentage, plus interest. And interest, compound interest, is a crazy thing, If you put 1 cent for 1% a year, 1 cent for 1% a year, then I forgot again. It's something like in 2,000 years it turns into 1 billion euros. 1 cent under 1% of annual interest. So you give somebody you give somebody 1 cent, unqualified person, 1 cent. At least you get back 1 cent plus interest. Of course, it goes the other way also around. You take 1 cent from somebody and you use it not for Krishna. Next life you'll have to give it back with interest. But if you give it to an unqualified Brahmana, means a person who is a priest or a teacher or somebody who is practicing spiritual life, like all the Vaishnavas, you get, of course that's not unqualified, but even if unqualified, you get at least double. If you give it to a learned Brahmana, you get 100 or 1,000 times more. And if you give to a devotee, a Vaishnava, one who reached the other side of the Vedic science, means he's completely surrendered to the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Radha Krishna, then the result is unlimited. And wouldn't we all like, the infinite credit on our card? Or, like a magic wallet. And just whatever you need, you pull it out and it's still there. So that happens. It's possible. It's possible. It's there. So we have many of these quotients in the Shastra, and you can see that Srila Prabhupada here says that because the verse mentions the exact Sanskrit word is archa asritaha. So where there is worship of the Supreme Lord's deity. So like here in Ljubljana, we have the worship of the Supreme Lord's archa vigraha, or transcendental form, worshipable transcendental spiritual form. So is it the sufficient, is it one definition which exhausts all the conditions for a place to be a holy place, or is there another definition of a holy place? So there is another definition of a holy place. How else would you define a holy place? Would somebody like to offer some definitions or characteristics for a holy place?
Some place that was created as a sacred space that was sanctified.
You mean like by Krišna especially, yes? Or by saintly avatars? Okay, so some by God. So yeah, some space, some places, yeah, are already created. They are parts of a different dimension. There are places like this in this world. Yes, yeah. What else? And you can find some mention of them, or sometimes you can actually have a direct experience that this is a very special place. How else could you define a holy place? What else could be?
Where they sing the holy name.
Where they sing the holy name, yes, exactly. That's the first canto, saying that wherever they sing the holy name, then this is a holy place where Kali cannot enter. He's forbidden, yes. Jagannath Sudha?
Wherever the sadhus are staying.
I think this is a winner. I mean, because I think if there are sadhus, saintly persons, or people who are practicing spiritual life, serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then all the other parts will be included. Because even you may have a deity somewhere, some worshipable form, like you have in Kali Gandaki in Nepal, some river, and there are these very special holy articles. So okay, but if nobody worships them, how much power is there if they are worshipped and if they are not worshipped? But if there is a devotee, then he will worship one way or another. Even in other religions, even if they do not accept any form of God, at least they will worship a book, they will worship a holy name, they will worship one somehow. They will have some kind of worship, some aspect of God they will have. Usually holy name is a universal form of worship. So having sadhus is the main definition. And in a famous verse, when Vidura comes to Yudhishthir to save his brother, Yudhishthir greets Vidura saying, Bhavad vidaba gavatas tirtha bhuta swayam vibho tirthi kurvanti tirthani svantas tena gadabrita. My Lord, devotees like your good self are verily holy. It's an Indian expression, your good self, like British Indian expression, I don't know, some just respectful address to a person. Like your good self are verily holy places personified. Because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart. You turn all places into places of pilgrimage. So the name, the Sanskrit word for a sadhu and for a holy place is the same, tirtha. Tirtha. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani. Holy people create holy places. Holy people create holy places. And this is an interesting word because tirtha means a place where you can cross. Tha is sthan, is a place, and you want me to stop? Can I finish the sentence? Yes, say.
I would just like to think the place where somebody becomes holy or is sanctified or is initiated or somebody becomes devotee is even holier than just gathering like this and mercy from heaven, from some for spiritual master pours into another person. I think this is the essence of holy place.
A place where
Somebody becomes a devotee.
becomes a devotee. Uh-huh. Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, who is a holy person or a saintly person? So in the beginning we mentioned our Western idea of a holy place where a person becomes healed, or maybe some material problems are solved, or maybe some material desires are fulfilled. And there are many glorifications like that, like for example Kamyavan. It says anybody who sees Kamyavan, all of his desires are fulfilled. I remember I read it, I became very curious about seeing that place. And I have to admit, not all of my desires are spiritual. Coming on. This is the place where you have the ancient Vrinda Devi deity, where the Adi Kedarnath is there, so it's near Vrindavan. Coming on the 12 forests. But pure dharma or religion is when you set for yourself a non-material goal. Non-material includes also not subtle material, meaning not connected even with the mind or intelligence or even liberation. So a place where you don't aim to become materially healed. It becomes a holy place. So a place where you come not to take, but to give some service to God. So this is a very important, striking difference between material life and spiritual life. And this is where oftentimes people make a mistake, thinking that very often we think religion is where you get some material help, and definitely there is plenty of blessings there, saying that yes, you get all material blessings, all imaginable and unimaginable material blessings. But if you come for them, you are not yet practicing spiritual life. Spiritual life begins, or yoga begins, any yoga, not only bhakti yoga, but also yoga of meditation, dhyana yoga, yoga of knowledge, jnana yoga, yoga of work, karma yoga. Any yoga begins only after you decide that you want to achieve something beyond the material platform, something from the spiritual dimension, that you want to reach the spiritual level of consciousness. So you're coming not to get, but to, the simplest way, to give your service to God. Because we are all particles of one absolute truth. We are all His children. So therefore it's very natural that we unite as one family in serving the family interests, God's interest, or we are as parts. A classic example, as hand is only happy when the hand tries to put food in the stomach. And if the hand puts food in the stomach, then the hand is nourished very nicely. Like you can see at my look at my hand, you see it works, and I can tell you just 1 hour ago it put food in the stomach, and it seems to be quite okay, right? But if it didn't, then after a few days it would become weaker, weaker and weaker. This is the classic Upanishad example of and also the Bhagavatam example about the senses and the stomach. So in the same way as particles of the absolute, as particles of the absolute truth, naturally we are immediately connected when we agree or decide to accept the position of a servant, Dasaham, which of course sounds terrible in the modern world, a servant, my God. But you can see that this is very often a big secret in management books. The servant leader, steward, sometimes they try to disguise this, steward. Steward, it sounds like not like really a servant, but it's a servant who is not called a servant, but still serves. And by acting like this, he is taking care, and so everything looks very nice. And such a leader is very much appreciated. One who serves. So, this is the secret of how a place becomes sacred. So even if there is one person who wants to offer something to the Supreme Lord, that place becomes a holy place. And in this place, you just come to this place and you get all incredible blessings, including the material blessings, but more importantly, you get some spiritual extra push, extra support for your own progress. And it doesn't have to be many. It's enough even to have one person. In fact, many holy places are places where there was one saint who was serving the Lord very nicely. And also, it's my personal experience. I remember I went to one place to do a seminar, and then I stayed in the house of one devotee, and I said, okay, why don't we, what do you think? We can sit together and chant japa, meditate on the holy names, just two of us, and just together chanting. And we sat together, and something like half an hour we were chanting, and actually I could feel that the quality of japa the quality of meditation was much better than oftentimes even of my very good efforts in meditation. So it's enough even to have two people sometimes trying, not being perfect, just trying to focus on a higher practice. And just this endeavor of just two people combined creates an effect which is 10 times bigger. Not 2 times bigger, but 10 times bigger. So this is something they call it synergy, right? It's not a sum, it's a product. They say product when you multiply. Yeah? Like it's not 5 plus 5 equal 10. It's 5 by 5 equals 25. It's not 10 plus 10 equals 20. It's 10 by 10 equals 100. So this is just 2. How about 100? How about 100? If you just try to move closer to selfless, loving service of the Lord. So that creates a holy place. And here we have a rather veteran holy place. Make no mistake, this is definitely a holy place. New Yoga Pit. Actually, Yoga Pit means a mystic place of mystic power. place of mystic blessings. And it's created by all of you, by each of our endeavor to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna. Okay, some question or comment? Who else has? Gregor has, and yes.
Months ago, priest bragged me that I'm already a saint and fully priest, and I answered that saints are on the way. And he said that I got a deeper realization than him. But my questions are at Brahma Muhurta, how much is multiplied the holy name? The second thing was the relation between spiritual saint and the spiritual master.
Between spiritual
Saint and a spiritual master.
Yeah, a spiritual master usually is somebody who is more advanced on the path of spiritual life. And there are certain qualifications mentioned in the Shastra that he's taken shelter in the process of serving the Supreme Absolute Truth. And Brahma Muhurta, I don't remember exactly the quotient, the number, but Sarabhoma Prabhu says, our Vrindavan devotee Sarabhoma says that Brahma Muhurta is the time when Krishna has the office hours. He accepts all, like open lines and open doors and office hours. So that's the best time for prayer. Clear, open lines. Thank you. So we will have, after Kirtan, we will have some more points on the renovation of the temple by our Madan Kishore Prabhu. So that will be around 5, yes, after the Kirtan. So around 5 o'clock. Yes. So see you at 5, still here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu.